Welcome, friends and family, because that's the only people that watch this, to another episode of I'm Not Famous, the only podcast on Project Nerd that has two gingers and the word famous in it. I'm here with my usual co-host, Kerry.
What's up?
And we're joined today by Andrew, world extraordinaire, world traveler, photographer, insurance expert. What other subtitles should we give you?
I don't know. There's a lot out there.
There's a lot out there?
I can't
He's humble about it, too. He's humble about it, too.
Yeah.
Father, other ones that Jeff named earlier that I won't name on
Disciple.
air. Disciple. The 14th disciple, right? Because we all know Chris Rock was the 13th. And by the way, Kerry, for reference, I looked at that camera, so when it gets edited, he'll use that camera when my intro. Looking at the right cameras? Oh, that's right. We're not supposed to reference that there's cameras here. We're supposed to just have a general conversation. Okay, my bad. All right, I wasn't ready for this. They kind of took forever to set up, and then we're like, let's go.
Yeah.
And I wasn't ready.
You gotta be ready.
I feel like we used all our good conversation before
we should have just
started
shut
recording.
up, not spoken.
Well, tell us a little bit about your beer today.
Oh man, this is special. I don't know if you guys are ready for this. All right, this is on fleek, Stillwater artisanal, but yeah, despite the name, it's a nice 13% imperial stout. So yeah, you're welcome.
Based on our audience being our parents, we're going to have the definition of on fleek in the post.
I don't even know the answer. I don't even know what on fleek is. Well, it's on point, I guess. It's a good on point beer. So it's well worded.
Awesome.
But I also want to say we are drinking before noon.
Yeah.
So I am very appreciative.
They don't know this. They don't know this.
This guy brought beer in, so I'm not the only one drinking on camera this time.
Y'all are drinking. I got my water.
It took me about halfway through before I told you 13%.
Yeah, I was like,
so sorry about that. Yeah.
We've been having fun already. But Andrew, so tell us a little bit about, so obviously with this format, with this podcast, we really want to get to know you, right? So what's the first thing you want to talk about? Oh yeah, we want to. What do you want to talk about?
So, one of the biggest passions is, photography. So you guys can ask away.
Why did you make the mistake of becoming friends with Jeff?
It happened by chance, and all misfortunes, tend to not be purposeful, but, it turned out all right.
I feel like that's where you realize, okay, so this is what you're not supposed to do as a photographer. Yeah. But we've been having this conversation, and I'm going to say it because we're on camera now. You say photo, right? You take a photo. Mm-hmm. Why is it not a photographer?
A photographer?
Yes. Why is it a photographer and not a photographer?
That's a little deep. Yeah,
it is.
That's a deep.
I feel like it's from the Latin form of photo. So, I mean, it is. Are you going to go with that? I just want to know. Like, we were having that conversation on the way down, and I was told that I was wrong. And I don't believe I'm wrong. I think it should be called a photographer.
Well, I think he never believes he's wrong.
And you know what? We have these norms that are sometimes not explained. It's just, it is what it is. So,
but see, it feels like it's like mature versus mature.
What about photography-er?
Photography-er. See, that's even better. I'm very interested in where it came from.
GIF.
How do you say it?
What is that file extension?
GIF?
No.
Jeff's yelling out.
Oh, no.
Jeff, that starts with a G.
You disagree with Jeff.
Yeah, I disagree with Jeff.
All right, yeah, Jeff agreed. Cut that part. We all disagree with Jeff.
But getting back, so being a photographer, what is your particular medium? Are you doing like landscapes? You doing portraits? What do you typically prefer to take photos of?
So you know what, my background and what I really got into it for was landscape. I love to travel. I love to experience new things. So I think the biggest part is it kind of gave me a means to do those things, to get out of the norm, get off trail, and just discover something new. So that's always pushed me. I never thought I'd honestly be into portraits, but in Hawaii, I had a portrait business that, really just, I don't know, it gave me something. It gave me a purpose of like, I'm doing something fulfilling for people. So that was awesome.
So you said Hawaii. Yeah. I'm like, I hate you.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, I had a business in Hawaii that, it's kind of a big deal.
How much is a gallon of milk in Hawaii? Because that's always the joke.
I do almond milk, but yeah.
That's always the joke.
$7?
Yeah, you want to move to Hawaii? Well, just wait till you see how much milk costs.
You just have to know where to go.
First of all, I'm living in Hawaii. If I'm able to live in Hawaii, I'll buy a $7 jug of milk.
But now you have to clarify it. Like, is it cow's milk?
Yeah, they have cows.
Is it almond milk?
Well, they don't have cows in Hawaii, right?
But I say you can't just say milk anymore.
Yeah. So why is the milk so expensive then?
Because I don't know. I haven't seen many cows. I'm sure there's a cow in Hawaii
There's a
somewhere.
cow somewhere.
There's just one. There's just one. It just grazes.
It's because the cow farmer has to pay for volcano insurance,
Yeah,
so it
there you
just
go.
jacks the price of the milk up.
No, I feel like when you
Obviously.
say like I want a gallon of milk, he's got to go back there and actually then milk the one cow. He's like, hang on, I got to find out where it is. I got to go up there and I got to make it. No, but so how long were you in Hawaii for?
About 3 years.
Oh wow, why'd you go to Hawaii?
So long story short, my kids, have a military, long story, but basically I've gone where they go. So moved to Hawaii to be close to them, and then moved here to be close to them. So
That's awesome.
that's
So-
been my adventure.
So rank Florida, Hawaii, and Colorado. Best to worst. We already know Florida's at the bottom of the list.
I lived in Yellowstone too.
Okay, we'll
about
put that
10
on the
years.
list then.
All right, I have to say, Hawaii #1, Yellowstone #2, Colorado and Florida, hard mix up. Colorado's gorgeous, beautiful. We have so much here, but I have family in Florida, so
Okay, fair.
But you also have to clarify what part of Florida.
Orlando.
See, that's different.
Yeah,
That's
Orlando was,
different.
we had some things
It's all
going on.
humid.
No, it
It's
doesn't.
very-
It doesn't
And
matter.
there's crocodiles
You
everywhere.
ever sweat in the shower?
Yeah. I lived
you know
in
what that's
Florida,
like?
But I lived in like Fort Myers, Florida. I don't know if you know that little area. Like Orlando's nice.
The title of this episode is "Have you ever sweat in the shower?" Have you ever sweated?
No, you
It's-
don't
it's
take
a
warm
thing. It's a
showers in
thing.
Florida. There's no setting that goes past
Yeah.
half. Like you,
There's
no.
Where's the hot water? Just open the window.
Yeah.
Just open the window.
Go
But-
jump in the Everglades. You're good.
But here's the thing. Shower beers,
Shower
come
beers.
on. Like Florida has given rise to shower beers that Colorado's, natives
Florida
will
has
never
also
know.
given rise to Florida Man.
That's
Who
true.
tries to
That's
microwave
true.
a microwave.
That's true.
And blows himself up.
That is very true.
Headlines out there, guys. It's really out there.
Yeah, that went like dark real quick.
It did. So I showed him the headline.
Oh, you went from shower beer to Florida man
Because
microwaving a microwave.
I'm still fascinated. I'm upset that he killed himself microwaving the
Was that a
microwave.
thing? Did
Yeah,
that
it's a real
actually
thing.
happen?
In Florida, of course.
Wow.
And I'm upset that he died because I want to know what is the motives of trying to microwave a microwave, and we will now never know the answer to that question.
It's kind of self-explanatory, if you had, what if you had, like, what's the Russian nesting dolls versions of microwaves? Like, you'd have to do something with that. Like, it's art.
Russian nesting microwave.
Yeah, there you go. It's
a
art.
new market.
It's an Inception thing, like a microwave in a microwave, microwaving something.
See, I think what happened is that he had pizza rolls in the first microwave. That microwave went dead. So he thought, I'll just move the whole microwave into the next microwave.
He was trying to figure out how to make a turducken.
Turducken.
At least there was no animals involved, so
That we know
hopefully.
of. That we know of.
You know he had a crocodile in the bathroom.
Right?
You know he's one of those kind of people.
You ever had crocodile? Alligator?
To eat?
Excuse me,
Yes.
alligator?
And
To
I
eat?
love to eat them because those are scary bastards that I don't want
They're
anything
really
to do
not.
with.
They're not that bad.
They're-
No, to eat, right?
No, to eat fried?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Amazing.
Deep fried. Batter them, deep
Yeah.
fry 'em.
Oh yeah.
I don't know, like I never feel like that you get like, I like it just lightly breaded,
Yeah.
very like shallow fry.
But fried.
But like everybody
pan fried,
over fries
like
it.
pan fried with
like
some oil.
It's like we've been joking like an Applebee's chicken tender.
Right.
If you do it like that, it's the worst taste in the world.
Well, because
You
there's
get-
I don't
this
remember
much chicken.
Applebee's
No, you don't
menus.
do it?
No.
Oh, man.
But here's the thing. Okay, so Florida has alligator bites, and a lot of people think that's weird at first until
Right.
they try it, right? What does Colorado have? Rocky Mountain oysters.
Those
Come
are
on,
pretty
man.
good.
I was gonna go with
That's an
green chili.
extreme. That's an extreme.
I was
That's,
gonna go
isn't
with
that,
green
isn't
chili.
that more New Mexico?
Well, I feel like Colorado has like laid claim to like green chilies.
Just
were
because they
invented here
put
or
it on
something.
everything doesn't mean that it's a
Yeah.
good thing.
I think it traveled.
I think it's a
north.
good thing.
Yeah.
I think it's come. But where did Rocky Mountain oysters come from? Were they, from anywhere else?
Well,
I think
if
they
your
were
parents
actually
would have sat
originated
you down
here.
when you were younger, they would explain some of this stuff.
But I feel like that's where everybody does it. Like, we need to like use this product, and no one's going to eat it, so we're just going to fry
Yeah.
it.
I
Because
get
you're not going
that.
to eat
I
gator
get
tail
that.
by itself. Like gator tail by
It's like
itself is
Twinkies.
not
Nobody
good.
eats Twinkies, so they
it
started deep
actually
frying.
is.
You like
oh,
it?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Straight
How,
up.
so it seems like you've cooked it as well. Then how do you cook it?
I actually order it.
Oh, you go to the restaurant.
I've never cooked it.
You never cooked it?
No.
Oh man. No,
So,
I need fried gator
so
tail.
challenge is we need to get a hold of some gator, dead
Yes.
gator preferably,
I
and
know a
cook
place.
it. You know a place.
I know a place.
I know a guy. I know a guy.
And all I can think of right now is like a caiman. Like, have you ever seen like a
Yeah,
caiman?
little
Those
guys.
are little cool.
So-
Those are like straight up dinosaurs. If you see them, it's a dinosaur.
Would that be the crawfish of the lobster world?
That's a great question.
I was going to say it's more the veal of the
yeah.
feel of the gator.
I was like, but like, yeah, no, gators, like, you live in Florida, you get used to seeing alligators
No, you
everywhere.
don't get used to that stuff.
You do.
And every time somebody tries to argue me regarding why I think crocodiles are the only scary animal in the world, well, crocodiles and alligators, and they're all like, oh, if you're around, just climb a tree. I'm like, let me show you this YouTube video of this crocodile climbing a tree.
How close have you been to a vulture?
A vulture?
Yeah.
Not close.
That thing's like a stop
Like
sign.
I've almost hit one with a car.
Yeah,
Like
those things are massive, so those are pretty freaky.
And they can fly.
Yeah,
At
but they'll
least
fly
an alligator
away.
you can kind of get away from.
How?
Okay, you understand, like, being a Florida person, you're taught in elementary school
Don't
how
give
to
me with
run
that
away from an
zigzag. Don't
alligator.
give me that zigzag bullshit.
It is.
works?
It works.
You zig, then you zag right back into it. Like it's gonna eat you.
You have to go the opposite direction.
Right.
So if you're zigzagging towards it, you might have an issue.
Yeah.
But
Well, how do you zigzagging is going back and forth, so you're always going back at some
I would
point.
say
You're not
side
going
to
like all the way
side.
across and then all the way across. You got to go like a 35-degree
Where
angle.
were you taught to zigzag?
My nightmares are me running from crocodiles, and I'm just running this way, then this way, then this way, and the crocodile's just looking at me like waiting for me to stop so it can eat me. Or worse, I'm like, oh, we'll go swimming here, and then it's hovering up. You see, man, you've seen them take down those wildebeest.
Indiana
Like,
Jones.
See, but you're seeing like the
Yeah,
seeing
you're
these
seeing,
like
like,
overly produced
oh, you mean
videos.
like the ones in Australia? Why I won't go to Australia? Sorry, Australian friends. Is because
we were just famous in Australia.
they're
And we lost
they're
it.
10 meters long.
But nobody talks about drop bears.
Whoa.
Yeah, we do. We talked about the
okay.
We just
chlamydia.
completely skated over. You said 10
I heard-
meters. Who uses 10 meters?
Australian people.
But we're not in Australia,
We're
man.
referring
We're
to
in
Australia.
Colorado.
Okay, they're about 30 to 33 feet long.
Correct. That's more applicable to our audience here.
I'm trying. First of all,
You just confused them by meters. Wait, I thought I was listening to the right podcast. These people are in Australia now.
no, we're not going to Australia because they have 10-meter crocodiles there. So
And about 30 other animals that will kill you instantly.
yeah,
Right.
9 of the 10 world's most dangerous species can be found in Australia.
So what's the most dangerous species in Colorado?
Crocodile.
Yeah.
Crocodile. It's always crocodile.
The most
They have
dangerous-
crocodiles at the zoos. They're here. They're in Colorado.
Transplanted Florida
If
man.
they got out, you remember Harry Potter when he like makes the glass disappear and the crocodiles get out? I'm saying I warned you. All I'm saying is I warned you.
You're worried about a domesticated alligator.
Yeah.
I knew a lady who had
Yeah.
alligators in her backyard once.
As pets?
She was a Disney trainer. She had.
Yes.
I went over her house. She had a white wolf. She had a what was
Now,
it?
Biden, I'm not saying he's
a
wrong.
bobcat.
Yes.
She had a pit bull. That was her pet. But the bobcat came
that
out on a
draws the line.
chain.
Pit bull.
And that thing was just insane. But she had an
What was
alligator.
on the chain?
A bobcat.
Oh, I thought you were saying that like alligator.
No,
was
the
on
alligator was in
chain.
the backyard.
Dude, alligators can be on a train.
The alligator's in the backyard. Like it's no big deal. No,
Yeah.
I'm not going to that person's house if they have an alligator in the
I feel like
backyard.
we
She
just
trains
like-
them. She knows what she's doing.
You don't train an alligator. You don't train a crocodile.
To an extent, here's chicken,
Yeah.
do this,
Yeah, you do.
you know,
Yeah.
and they'll do it.
Have you not seen those videos where they put their head in like the crocodile's mouth?
No, I don't watch that stuff. Jeff tries to send them to me, but I don't watch them.
I'm just saying, man, like you're missing out on a whole different YouTube spectrum right now
No.
of like watching that.
Jeff sends you
the
the
same with
videos
like
of,
watching people like get in car crashes on you. Why do I want to watch that? Why do I want to watch this guy eventually get eaten by a crocodile? Because it's going to happen. If it doesn't, he's going to get stung by a stingray. But it's something. Just leave the animals alone. Leave them alone. Nothing good is going to come of this.
So what's your most intense animal experience? I'm gonna interview now.
Nice.
I've had a dog.
good question.
I've had like dogs
Dogs?
attack me when I was little. Actually, the worst was my cat, Maximilian. We'd hang out at the window of the apartment. I was the only kid at that time, so I only remember this through stories being told to me. So it could be a completely wrong story. And we'd wait for my dad to come home, and another cat like came and they tried to fight at the window, and then the cat ended up tearing me up and stuff. And I still have this like, if you look really close, there's still a scar there.
Jeez.
And that would, I guess, be my most traumatic experience. And the reason that that's the worst is because I stay away from crocodiles and alligators.
Yeah,
so
there
I
you
don't
go.
have a traumatic experience with them. But it's a good question. What was yours?
I mean, as a photographer, you know, and being out in the Yellowstone and crazy places.
Are there
I've come in-
crocodiles in Yellowstone?
No, but I've come in within 10 feet of a moose that was like about 7 feet tall. I had to go off trail, get around it.
Is that where you're going to go? He's got a good story for it.
Monk seals in Hawaii, you know, on the beach that I slept on, yeah.
Like they try to fight you?
No, they're cool.
Okay.
They're cool. You just
What about
keep your
drop bears?
distance.
You brought up drop bears earlier.
No, man. I've never been in Australia.
No koala gave you
Never
chlamydia?
had anything. Actually, I
Did
heard
you
about
use
this
the
girl.
excuse that the koala gave you the
I
chlamydia?
heard about someone naming their kid chlamydia.
I'm out. I'm done. This is it. The world is done. Florida man names kid chlamydia because it was probably
in Florida.
All right, your moose story.
It wasn't a moose, it was an elk.
Oh, they were.
They'll
okay.
tear you up.
I
Elk
made the
will kill
mistake
you.
of playing golf here in Colorado in the mountains during bugling season,
Okay, yeah.
right?
That's bad.
So there's me, being the person I am, all 5 foot deuce of me, deciding that I'm bigger and I'm the human, so I'm gonna go get my golf ball like 5 feet from a male elk.
Jeez. Okay, you got raped?
No, so the elk was on the ground, right? It's laying there, grazing, getting ready to go mess around with a female. I go up, address my ball, and it jumps up on all 4 legs. And I'm like, cool, that's my fetal. I'm like, this is it. That's how it ends. That's it. Like,
least you went out playing golf,
I'm
right?
going to be impaled by an elk, and you're just going to see the elk trotting with my body as a conquest. Like, you know how you have like a deer on the front of like a car hood? That's how I felt I was going out. Like, he was just going to it.
Dumbass dies over $2 golf ball.
Colorado man gets impaled by an elk.
They're like, wait, you were born in Fort Myers? Florida man.
Florida man.
Florida man goes to Colorado, thinks that an elk is not a superior being during bugling, which is right. That's like the worst part because they were charging at us all day long.
what they do.
There's some funny
Yeah.
videos.
That's what they do.
We need to put them after the credits. There's some good videos.
There is some good bugling. That one was not recorded, but I'm glad I can say that story because I thought there was going to be a story where it was going to be my friend telling my wife, your husband's gone. He was impaled by an elk. His body is now part of the mountain.
By the way,
we couldn't get it.
Since he died halfway through, I gave him penalties for
Yeah,
all the rest of
penalty
the holes,
strokes.
and I beat him.
The moral of the story: stay away from animals.
Correct.
Respect animals, and don't try to put
Yeah.
a baby bison in your trunk. And it's,
you try
it's
to do
good.
that?
Did you try to put a...
That was a thing. You
Oh,
never saw
like-
that? There was
No.
a thing where a Yellowstone tourist saw this shivering baby bison, put it in his trunk to keep it warm, and obviously they had to put it down. That happened.
Why the
that was a
trunk?
thing because they didn't realize.
Do you have your heater going to the trunk? Like how? What? I'm going to put it in the trunk where there's no heat from my
Have
car
you-
going to, but it's going to stop shivering now.
I don't know if you guys ever read Yelp reviews of national parks.
No, is this
People have written saying how they should train animals to be closer to people because they spent so much money to get there. And I can tell you some of the stories or some of the things I've been asked, for clients coming to Hawaii. It gets pretty sad. As far as what currency we use, what side of the road we drive on, it's America. It's just like here.
Were these Americans
these
coming
were
to Hawaii
Americans.
asking you this
These were
question?
pretty
This is when you
affluent.
set up a currency exchange booth at the
Right?
airport. Here's
lost
your
opportunity.
20 Hawaiian dollars.
Right.
That is 50
We
US dollars.
just
The
use
currency
lays.
is
Each lay will get you whatever you want.
it is a 2-to-1 switch right now. So you give me $40 and I'll give you 20 Hawaiian dollars.
Each sand dollar is a Bitcoin.
Yeah, we use $10.
Just put this in the vending
Damn,
machine.
all
Just
right.
keep forcing
What are these
it.
wooden nickels with your face on them? That is our national currency. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Yeah, so you went back, right? So getting us back on track because we're never on track, right?
Sorry.
You were saying that. So you owned your own photography company in Hawaii. You typically dealt with landscapes, but it seems like you had a fascination with these animals. You were saying did you actually like sleep on the beach or in Hawaii, like with these sea lions?
I'm not gonna
Because
tell
I'm just
where.
picturing it like you just like cool, like it's my spot, yoga matted out, and just kind of like chill.
So there's certain things, I won't put out the certain spots. The islands are very protected and we
Okay.
keep things local. But there's islands off the coast where I used to live. So me and a friend kayaked out there, and we just camped out and had the most amazing time because there's like a 7-foot pool made out of lava stone that you can just chill in, watch the ocean waves come over you, and you're on this remote island.
Yeah.
So yeah, we camped out there, watched the stars, and woke up and there was this monk seal just chilling, laying on the beach, checking us out, and awesome experience.
Now, were you taking? It seems like. Are you camping out there to take photos, or are you just going out there for fun?
For both.
So what are you photographing at that point? Right?
Astrophotography.
What's that?
Just stars.
Okay.
Basically, get out there,
The 2017 World Series champions.
Yeah.
Oh, the
And of course, I mean, I
one
have
sports reference that no one.
one of my favorite photos is from the back of this island. I did a multi-image panorama that's maybe 23 images layered.
Okay.
But it's on the back of this island, looking at the sister island across the way, and then the main island behind in the background. So it's like layers of layers, and this watch band sucks.
Oh wow.
So
The whole episode's ruined now.
Wow.
Whole episode's
Like,
ruined.
no. Now we're going in a tutorial of how to put a watch together. When your watch breaks in an impromptu interview, and look, see, it's
That
already
was
done.
quick. That was quick.
Time. What you say? So were you taking these photos to actually sell them, or were these just personal photos that you were going out and capturing?
You never. For me personally, all right. So I haven't been into the art show circuit for a minute, but I mean, they're my personal little collections of places I've been and places I love to go. So in a way, I kind of use, photography as an excuse to camp out in crazy places,
Right.
or go somewhere where it just makes no other sense to go. And obviously, I'm capturing it at some point later. But I have random images from like Montreal that have paid for that trip, or so it's just a catalog, building.
So is it a byproduct then? So you're going to do this because, like you said, like you're
Exactly.
traveling to those areas anyway, but you need to obviously make money.
And it's a valid, yeah.
But you're not
exactly.
even. This isn't even your primary source of income, right?
First of all, photography is an art, so you don't make money.
Yeah,
No artist makes money.
Actually,
no,
so
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
With my that's why I got into portraits, and as a portrait photographer, actually that was my full time. That's all I did.
Were you a wedding photographer at
No.
one point?
Yes.
Can-
And I
what-
avoid
I gotta
weddings.
ask. What's the craziest like wedding
Okay.
photography story? Because
I've seen
that's my favorite.
2 brides' dresses catch fire. I've seen
What?
2 dresses catch
you don't
fire.
end that part there and
Oh.
go to the next list.
So, so candles really close
Okay,
to the
okay,
dance
okay.
floor. You lean against it, not a good idea. Your shit's gonna catch on fire if you have this poofy ass dress while you're in the first, on the dance
Note
floor.
to self.
So,
next time I wear my wedding dress,
Yeah.
I'll remember that.
get a flicker or something, not just a real candle, because there could be an issue. I've seen fights.
Did you photo the fight? Like did you?
No.
Or do you have to
No.
step in?
It
Because
was
you're
like
a pretty big dude. Like
It
did you
was
have to
in
step
the-
in?
Rocky freeze frame finish?
It was like something that happened, that I kind of saw from a glance.
Oh, you
and then
saw it.
And then I was, it wasn't like right there in front of me. But when I was younger, I used to do wedding videos. That's kind of my intro into the whole business. I've been hit on by brides, which was kind of
during
Sober brides?
the wedding?
Sober brides?
actually before and then during the ceremony,
Okay.
like glances. Which
Before makes
was-
sense. You get the cold feet going.
Right.
She's like, if this guy flirts back with me, I know I need to get out of here. Like,
But during the ceremony, getting glances by someone who just said something really inappropriate to you, as like you're trying to be professional, it's a little weird. It happens. Yeah.
Well, I feel like you're also you're being paid by them to take
am.
their photos. Like it's
Prostitute,
kind of like a fine line you're walking there.
It
you know?
is. It is.
it's illegal in some states.
Yeah.
So you got out of that, right? So going back to what you said, right? So you started actually your entire. Well, you say it was an art, as you said, an art was
For that, I was just making
videoing
I was making art
weddings.
to get money.
Right.
Then did you immediately then transform
No.
to like wedding photography? And then,
No.
so what did you do? Like
So-
how did your whole evolution of like this whole art thing take place?
So, I think like a lot of people, I got into, kind of a field that, it wasn't fulfilling, but it was, lucrative. And, after, the whole, so I was in the mortgage business and I saw the collapse and, worked for big banks and kind of, just really hated it, I mean, I made good money, but I hated it with a passion. So I wanted to do something that was fulfilling, and photography, traveling, exploring things was my kind of outlet to do that. So I decided to make it, my professional thing.
It's cool.
Dope, man.
Yeah.
It's cool. I didn't do either one of those things. I went from, was it The Big Short, the movie about the crash anyway? Movie reference there.
Yeah.
The Big Short
People
was a
will
great
get that
movie.
one. They won't get the sports reference.
That
but
was
they'll get
a
the
great
reference.
movie.
It was a good movie.
Steve Carell's greatest movie all time.
It was a great movie. And I don't know, what's that movie with the other one? With
The other mortgage one?
Leonardo DiCaprio?
Oh, the Wolf of Wall Street.
Wolf of Wall Street.
So you
what
say
would
like me,
surprise you
wolf.
is how
like there's like a U
real-
in it.
Say again?
Wolf.
Wolf.
Wolf?
Wolf.
It's like a U, not an O.
Wolf.
Yeah.
Wolf.
Wolf.
But Jonah, see, we were talking earlier, but Jonah Hill in that was my favorite.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Jonah Hill was like the,
The
coolest
party
dude in
scene?
that.
I'm a second to Leonardo DiCaprio, but yeah.
Ah, see, like Leonardo does Leonardo stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
But Jonah Hill, you didn't expect that.
So
you
for
didn't
him,
expect
it's like
Jonah
a given.
Hill.
It's a given that
Exactly.
you're going to play whatever role. And
It's like, oh wait, you're
okay.
Christian Bale and you gained 10 pounds, and now all of a sudden you're
10 pounds for Vice. You're talking about now?
I'm just saying, like Christian Bale does like Christian Bale things where he's just like,
Up,
oh,
down,
you know what?
up,
He
down. That's
lost
his weight.
weight and now he's amazing. But Jonah Hill,
Great
it wasn't
character
about
in
it.
that movie.
Like
Great character.
He goes from super bad to this supporting character in Wolf of Wall Street.
Didn't he do Moneyball before?
Yeah,
Wolf
but
of Wall Street?
Moneyball is like a joke.
He got nominated for an Academy Award, though.
I haven't seen that.
As a baseball fan, I was bored by that movie.
It's a horrible movie.
But
Brad
he-
Pitt, like,
But it's
hey,
still a
look
matter
what
of
I
he was
did.
nominated for an Academy Award.
But Jonah Hill wasn't really like big in that movie. Like, yeah, he was in it, and it was kind of like. But when you recall Wolf of Wall Street, I think first is Jonah Hill, Leonardo DiCaprio, and then like Margot Robbie, down in that area.
I mean, she should be at top. But,
No,
you know,
come on.
I get what you're saying. I get it.
But like Jonah Hill was amazing in that movie,
Unbiased.
and I'm really excited for what Jonah Hill's doing.
What's he doing?
But what was his new mid '90s? His new movie he directed and wrote and everything.
I don't know about this.
I want to see that.
Yeah, it looks great.
It's a skateboard,
Yeah.
90s skateboard movie. I grew up skateboarding, so yeah, I really want to see that.
But it's the way it was shot looked amazing, right? He directed it. He also wrote it. He's been writing it for like 10, 15 years.
It's a
great story.
culture that I believe if you weren't there, you can't truly understand or
Right.
grasp. You know?
fair.
So it's one of those things.
But it's
Yeah,
also
definitely wanna see
bringing
that.
new eyes to, like you said, like you skateboarded. You know, how many times nowadays do you see people skateboarding?
And
Yeah, my
you know,
skateboard sits against my
beyond
wall
the
now.
skateboarding
Like, it
itself, it
doesn't-
was the culture and the shift that you know, it was this gritty. It was just a culture, a subculture
Yeah.
that has transformed into something I think is definitely more
Well, I think
positive.
and that's what I wish people would just call it what it is. Like when they say culture, to me, every time I hear that word, I hear family, or a group of people that are like-minded that are doing the same thing.
Yeah.
You know, you say like sneaker culture, you say sports culture. It's a group of people that share the same passion. So immediately there's a connection.
Yeah.
And I think it's cool when you have, especially in situations like skateboarding where they're kind of considered outcast.
Yeah.
You know, before it was surfing,
And it
right?
was
Probably
embraced,
like
and it was-
Hawaii, right? You saw it in
Yeah.
surfing.
Yeah.
You know, not many people like surf, but when you see like the locals go out there, you see 15, 20, 30 people, and they're all together.
And think about something that's not mainstream that eventually does become mainstream. So what were the beginnings like snowboarding? When it first
Yeah. I was
gonna go
out,
with bedazzling
that
jeans.
was it, they were outcasts, and so they had this whole it was a culture. It
Right.
was them against
Check out them
those
boys
who
from
did so.
Dogtown.
Yeah.
Right.
So
That's what I think is great, but I think it could have been told from somebody else, like a lot of other people. Jonah Hill, as we're talking about, right, taking that, and he talks a lot about it, why he did it. I think the actors in it are actually all skateboarders.
yeah, he just
So
found
it-
random kids.
Yeah, it's a cool, and like I said, I like the way it was shot. The way he shot it was really cool.
How do you feel about Jonah Hill's recent Netflix series, Maniac?
Listen, Maniac is a joke. it's a waste of space on Netflix. For one,
First of all,
I love
waste
it.
of
one
space.
episode
Like they
in,
have
so-
limited server space. There's we can't. We've got to cut Stranger Things season 3 because
How do
we
you
have Maniac
not make
on
Emma
it.
Stone look amazing? Emma Stone is gorgeous, and in that show, it's like cool. She's bipolar, and that's it. That's her whole story.
First of all, that's your complaint for the series?
No, I don't have enough time to talk about Justin Theroux being horrendous. They ruined. So my thing, and this maybe
You don't have enough time because I
I-
actually have to. We got the signal. I have to close
No,
this out.
I got to finish.
You
with
said
it.
you didn't have
Dude,
enough time.
There's a lot. The list of cougars for me: Diane Lane, number 1. Number 2 is Sally Field. I absolutely love Sally Field,
Interesting.
and
Okay.
she's in that.
Carrie
and
has a list of cougars.
I do. I like old ladies, man.
America's mom. Okay. Well,
I'm
to
saying-
each its own. To each its own.
I don't. Is that how we're going to end on Sally Field? and
No, we're
Diane
going to
Lane?
end with saying thank you to
Thanks,
Muse
guys.
Comics for hosting us
Yeah.
here in Colorado Springs. Beautiful store. Come check them out if you're in the Springs area. Muse Comics and Games. Pretty much right kind of downtown area. And we'll also end by saying thank you, Andrew. But before we head out, remember, if you're seeing us on YouTube, hit that subscribe button.
Right
Remember,
here.
if we get 10 subscribers in one day, and Jeff is monitoring this closely, I'm supposed to do some kind of rap or something.
it goes
or I
shave his
won't
head.
do the rap to avoid having you guys having to see it. Either way, just hit that subscribe button, as well as check us out over on Patreon, patreon.com/projectnerd. All right, well, with that, we have to close. And before we head out, Andrew, tell our listeners or our viewers where they can find you online.
I Instagram, Wander Explore, not Wanderer Explore, Wander Explore. A lot of people mix that up. Andrew Vega Photography.
Okay.
Primary
Awesome.
places.
Awesome. Well, thank you again, Andrew.
Thanks for
We also
having
want to
me.
say thanks to Muse Comics and Games here in Colorado Springs for hosting us. Great looking store. If you're down here in the Springs, definitely come check them out. Buy me Camel Up. I don't know what that game is, but buy it. And
We're going to play it before the end of the day.
We're going to play it before the end of the day. With that also, like I said, if you're catching us on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. Hit just like that. Like hit it really hard. Subscribe. Again, if we get 10 subscribers in one 24-hour period, Jeff's monitoring closely, there will be a recording of me rapping our Project Nerd / Beastie Boys song. But also check us out over on Patreon. Of course, just find Project Nerd on Patreon, as well as all the other social media channels we're on. With that, thank you again. Well, Kerry was here. But till next time, I'm not
Cheers.
famous.